Welcome back to another episode of You Know Uno. I'm your host, Tom Uno Adams, and this is...
I am Derek Osman, your co-host.
And then today we're actually introducing another host. Her name is...
Haley Dose.
Haley Dose? Haley Dose Lucero.
Doses with mimosas.
My other half, my desert flower, Shut up, Thomas. We're here at Woods Boss Brewing, located on 22nd in California, speaking with Jordan Fink, the owner and director of operations, and Keith Hicks, who will be playing in a little bit. In honor of National Stout Month, I wish I was drinking this stout, but I will be drinking a stout later on in the episode. Do we have any other beers that we have our eyes on? I know I've got my eye on that barrel-aged stout.
The Layers of Inspiration sounds really good. I actually didn't go with that for this. But that was next on the list. That's also another, it's a New England IPA. I know Jordan was talking about it earlier. He said it was really good. It's a good beer in their pipeline. So that's next for me, honestly.
Cool.
The Narwhal Candy Cane. That one also had a long name, but that one looked...
Magical
Candy
Narwhal
Cane,
Candy Cane
Magical Unicorn. Yeah.
Yes. Give me more, please.
Well, you had the Fruity Flash, though, right?
That one was good. Very, very good. Very light, very fruity.
Well, let's get a clink in here before we go into Down in Denver.
Clink it up, my homies.
Clink, clink, clink.
Cheers to the second episode.
Thank you again, Woods Boss, for hosting us tonight, providing the beer. You guys make incredible product. Jordan was awesome to talk to. Same with Keith. The whole vibe, the atmosphere here, it really makes you feel like you're up in the mountains. It makes it feel like you're at home.
Log cabin feel, like a venue aesthetic.
Everything about this place is just, it's magical.
Yeah, it is. It's
just
great.
like the unicorn. It's magical, man.
Before we get into Down in Denver, Haley, do you want to talk a little bit about yourself since this is your first time on the podcast? Haley runs the finances for our business, and she's also another photographer on our team. So she is very humble, and I will speak for her.
Don't mansplain me.
Don't mansplain you. You don't want to talk. All right. Down in Denver.
I know what to say.
Haley is the one that keeps us balanced. She puts us into perspective real quick. Like, hey, you guys are either being really stupid, I can't understand what you're saying, and where are we going with this again? Yeah. That's
usually how it goes.
Haley's like the equilibrium. She's
Haley's pretty important to why we changed our whole episode segment stuff for the second episode.
Don't give that
so
responsibility.
normally like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are held at peanut butter and jelly, but everyone forgets the bread. So I think of Thomas and I are the peanut butter and jelly. I like to think of myself as the jelly because of the sweet, sweet ass. And
oh my God.
Thomas is...
Is that because I'm fucking dry?
Thomas is peanut butter because he's
I'll give
dry.
you the protein, but I'm dry.
And Haley's the bread. She's the nice bread. You don't know what type of bread you're going to get on the day. So, yeah, it all fits.
Cool.
The shoe fits.
We're a good team. Good little PBJ.
Welcome to the Uno
How
team,
many
ladies and
breads are
gentlemen.
there?
How many breads are there? Yeah, I don't think you want to go down the bread route.
Oh, shoot.
The only bread I care about is this cheddar. Sweet, sweet cheddar.
Well, Derek's going to take us into Down in Denver. What do you got for us today?
All right, ladies and gents. So
this is happening next week or later, by the way, for our viewers.
Yeah, we learned from the first episode that it is not smart to release dates of events that are going on the week of the recording of the podcast.
We don't post on Monday.
Because we are, I don't know.
We're not slow.
We're not slow. We're not fast.
We have a deadline. We meet it.
We're on this learning.
But that deadline is after all these events.
we are on this slippery slope of deadlines. But so the first Down in Denver, which I don't even know if you can consider it Denver because technically this event is in Boulder. And Jordan did talk about this during the interview, but the Winter Beer Festival is happening February 25th at Boulder. It's at Balk Fieldhouse. I'll probably butcher that name
I'm sure they got it.
because I'm not a Boulderite, so sorry. The Balk Fieldhouse, $45 for a GA ticket. I think there's going to be over 25 breweries there. Woods Boss will be there. It's a 4-hour event. If you get the VIP package, I think it's $65. You do get the extra hour of drinking, and you get a souvenir glass. You get a bunch of cool stuff, and yeah, you get to taste all of Colorado's finest craft beer.
$20 to get drunker quicker.
$20 to get drunker quicker. That is
You get an extra hour to get drunk too.
Yeah. They also have. So if you are not going to the event to drink, they do have $5 tickets just to get into the event, and that is called the. I think I saw it was the designated driver tickets.
Nice.
Which was also comical. I laughed out loud when I read that and was reading all the information to you guys.
Hey, some people are pregnant.
Some people gluten free or pregnant, like. It's a ticket for everyone.
It's a cheap way to get in.
Yeah. $5 to have fun, sign me up.
Not me.
And then the other event that is going on in Denver, also on the 25th, is the Crawfish and Craft Beer Festival. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a super big crawfish person.
Ooh, you're not from the South.
I'm not from the South. I'm literally from the.
Sign me up.
I'm literally from the middle of the Midwest. Shout out Nebraska.
I mean, Oklahoma's not South, but it's South enough.
I can appreciate a crawfish boil, but I'm not a big fan of.
I've only been to like 2 of them,
However,
to be honest.
My grad school party, a crawfish broil showed up for me, and that was badass.
Yeah,
That's-
it was like 3
Trash
pounds
bags.
of crawfish for
Yeah.
no reason.
It's funny you say 3 pounds because the Crawfish and Craft Beer Festival, it technically is free to go to. It is at the Monkey Barrel here in Denver. But if you get so basically $36 will buy you a 3-pound, yes, I said that right, a 3-pound box of crawfish. And that includes like potatoes and onions and all the makings that goes into that box.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be 20 local breweries. They're going to have live music from 10 Years Gone.
A Led Zeppelin tribute band.
Which is a Led Zeppelin tribute band, which is
dope.
honestly,
I want to go.
Yeah.
I wish these 2 events weren't on the same day because
Yeah.
back to back, that would be one heavy hitter of a
one of us could
weekend.
go to the other one.
But what fun is that?
That's true.
What fun is going
Bring
to?
your friends.
Yeah, bring your friends. I guess have more friends is really the bottom line here.
Hey, Winter Beer Fest and Crawfish Craft Beer Festival, sponsor us, and we
Please.
will cover your event.
Please, yeah, we'll cover it. We'll give you good
Events,
content.
plural.
Events plural. So yeah, that's what I have for technically down in Denver this week.
All right, so that's beer events. Let's move on to alcohol-related events, or not alcohol-related events. That's yours. Let's move on to music events. Before we get on to that, since we're here at the lovely Woods Boss Brewery, dollar off beers pretty much every other Friday for Aloha Fridays. So if you wear your Hawaiian shirt like I did today, you will get $1 off of beers while you're here.
Mahalo.
Mahalo, aloha.
I didn't even notice there was a Yoda up there till now.
While it's not Friday, and I'm not sure if
Where have
it's.
you been?
Well, I'm not sure if it's this Friday.
whoopee
Check their
cushion over
calendar
there.
on their website. We've got giant walking robots. They're going on tour.
GWR baby.
If
Let's
you miss them, you are truly a sad person. Because on February 11th, they start out in Manitou Springs, and then they go through 2/18, February 18th at Keystone. They're doing a Utah leg that week. Even if you're a viewer out of our state, you will get to see them. Definitely make sure to hit up Giant Walking Robots. Go to their Instagram, see their full schedule.
Their new schedule is dope.
I love Giant Walking Robots. I love Dave, love Wilson, love George, love Matt. It's
whole
a vibe.
gang.
It's a vibe. Don't miss out. And then our last little plug here is for Keith Hicks. You can actually hear him playing right now. He's performing live tonight, and he plays at Wood Boss every Wednesday from 7 to 9, maybe 7 to 10 if he twists his arm a little bit.
Yeah.
But come check him out while you're drinking an ice cold beer from Woods Boss.
Because who doesn't love live music and craft
Well,
beer.
he used to play with Dave.
That is
Yeah,
true.
so-
He did. We love our live music. We love our craft beer, and we love all you guys.
Oh,
guys
thank
are
you for
great.
joining us.
Yes,
Tune in
thank
for our
you.
next segment.
Yeah, let's do an intro.
So we are here with Jordan Fink, owner and director of operations here at Woods Boss Brewing.
I'm just a guy, man.
These guys being dudes.
Well, just this guy had the time to sit down with us. So I guess
Cool.
first, right off the bat, can you talk a little bit about the tap room, like kind of?
What? Grew up in New York, middle class Jewish kid, outskirts of the city who wanted to get out in the woods. So I came out to Colorado when I was going to college at 17 in the mid 90s.
Keep going.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I'll
just
keep
gonna
going.
adjust that.
Hey, look at that. We've adjusted. It's good. And kind of went back and forth between college and ski bumming and doing other stuff. And lucked into a job with the Forest Service building trails, fighting fires, doing stuff like that, which I then ultimately transitioned into working for a youth conservation corps based out of Oregon. So taking teenagers out in the woods and doing trail work, conservation, environmental education, life skills, work skills, helping them learn how to not be assholes is kind of...
That's a good trait to teach.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I saw my role as a teacher, which I then became later on in life as well, was a high school science teacher too. Along the way, I also was a fluvial geomorphologist, hydrologist, and watershed scientist, and did other things too. Doesn't matter. I lived a peripatetic life. So when I worked for the youth corps, my job title was Woods Boss. And it's where I met my wife. It's where most of my most batshit crazy formative experiences as a young man happened. Best job I ever had. Hardest job I ever had. Still to this day. And it was just such a integral and amazing time in my life that my wife was like, you have to call it Woods Boss Brewing when you open your brewery. It's such a big part of who you are. And in talking with my partner Chad when we first got together about the idea of opening brewery, and I told him that my wife suggested we call it Woods Boss. He's like, well, what's that all about? And I told him that story, but the larger part of it was what a Woods Boss is all about. Not that it was me being a Woods Boss, but the philosophy and work ethic around that mythical creature, because I wasn't the only one.
Sure.
There were lots of Woods Bosses then, now, at the same time, whatever. But the Woods Boss was, in principle, the hardest working motherfucker out there, who showed up, that brought the fun and the crazy and the hammer, because we were working with kids when the crew leaders that I was in charge of couldn't handle, provided the technical expertise and experience and the connections outside of the smaller group to the larger world. That's what Woods Boss was designed to be, right? So those morals and philosophies and attributes fit with who we wanted to present ourselves as, if that makes any kind of sense.
No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words.
That was great.
You have.
I'm exhausted. Are we done? Fuck. Anyway, okay.
No, I really like as someone who enjoys going to craft breweries
Yeah.
and things of that nature. I can truly appreciate myself. Like, you've poured your heart into this business, and this place represents who you are as a person. And so you get to be as real as you can be or want to be while you're working here. I don't even like using the term work because
Oh no, it's fucking work.
yeah,
I was gonna say how
It's
much
fair.
work versus play.
We work our asses off here.
and I can also see from, I guess, like our perspective, like you truly are a Woods Boss. Like, I was doing research on the brewery and everything, and even your guys' bar top comes from an ethical
Ethically sourced.
ethically sourced, and I even spent some time on their website looking around. I'm like, this is actually some cool
Yeah,
shit.
Derek's gonna
And
buy a table.
yeah, I was gonna.
Thanks for doing it in the background.
Yeah,
Appreciate
well,
that.
of course, and No, like me personally, like I really like your guys' cause here. Your guys' breweries kick ass. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the-
Especially since you have like the venue side too. I don't see a whole lot of
Yeah.
breweries doing that.
Yeah, that's a whole other story, which we'll get to.
Okay.
But the important thing, I always get a little embarrassed because a lot of it's related to my personal history, but the larger idea about it is, like the concept of Woods Boss is applicable to anybody, right? And that's what I'm trying. That's the story I'm trying to tell. So when we talk about coming into Woods Boss and our crew who works here and the community that comes in, anyone can be a Woods Boss. It's more about the values and ideals and the stories that we want to tell and the ability to help create community, which is not unique to us within the brewery world or outside the world, but what is unique to us is, the individual stories and the way we go about it.
Yeah.
I love that though, because I know that you always have a beer on tap that donates to charity.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
try to.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think that's such a great way found your business is just giving back to the community however you can.
Yeah, so when Chad and I met hanging out at shows together through mutual friends. We were actually at Red Rocks,
cool.
first time we ever met, and then would hang out at fish shows over the course of the years.
Nice.
And,
I knew you had taste.
yeah, dude, my first fish show was 1991.
Wow,
Come on, man,
all
I'm
right.
old school. I'm 1.0, I think is what the kids say.
The fish heads?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I saw my first Dead show in 1991 too. I was 13.
I'm going to their to the Dead show on their last tour this summer.
Yeah, this is their fourth last tour.
Oh, so you think they'll come back? Okay, cool.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Great assault, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, when Chad and I first sat down and were like, "Yeah, let's do this thing," our first conversation was not about anything other than what kind of business we wanted to be, not what kind of beer or what this place should look like or how big or how much money or anything like that, which we would have been wrong about anyway. But it was who we wanted to be as a business.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of years working in nonprofits, and one of the things that I always wanted to do, because I knew I was going to leave the nonprofit world because it's hard to, grow up in the nonprofit world and ever be able to afford a house,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
get married or have a kid or anything like that. You are doing it because of your idealism, not because of a paycheck, which is generally pretty small because they're a nonprofit.
Right.
Right. But the first conversation that we had was who we wanted to be, and the first line item was, how can we give back to the community? And that's where we went from there. Right? So we're going to do all these things, but our goal, other than to stay in business, will be to figure out how we can create that space for community and give back, and create a space for the community to come together to hopefully give back as well. So tonight we're doing a benefit. Excuse me, I've been drinking. A benefit beer night. We're partnered with our friends and other podcasters, Ken and April from Living a Stout Life and the Cottonwood Institute, who focus on environmental education, working with at-risk and inner-city kids to get them out in the world and experience that as well.
Cool.
Not just be stuck in this Denver kind of cycle.
Sure, yeah.
Kids need to get out and literally go play.
Yeah,
It's wild how underrated that is.
It's literally what I used to do as a profession. It's
Yeah.
like helping get kids out in the woods and helping them learn how to see that there's more out there.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of how we designed this place and what we still try to do despite how busy we are and how hard it has become, after the pandemic just to keep doing it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my follow-up question, this stems from your original.
In 3 parts.
It is 3 parts. This stems from the first question that Thomas asked you, but with you guys being so centered around like the wilderness and stuff, why did you choose like kind of the heart of Denver to set up shop and not somewhere closer like
It's funny.
like Idledale or somewhere like
so, we actually had a lease in place for a place up in Evergreen.
Nice. Almost moved up there too as
Yeah.
well. I love Evergreen.
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
Idledale, Kittredge, Evergreen,
Yeah.
close mountain towns. At the end of the day, that lease fell through, which ultimately turned out to be lucky.
Okay.
But the idea of being able to step into that mindset of outdoors and all the things associated with it doesn't have to be in the woods. It can be anywhere, right? The other
Love
part
that.
about it is thinking about it from a business perspective. Where are the people?
Sure.
True.
Sure.
That
They're
is
here,
true.
Yeah.
right? In Denver, Evergreen is a much smaller population, much less draw. It would be a much smaller operation in general,
Sure.
and harder to do.
Yeah, you can't just necessarily set up in one of those ski towns or something like that.
Those guys are doing great.
Well,
But
I
also
imagine the cost of living there is pretty hiked up as well.
There's no perfect scenario.
Yeah.
There's give and takes with everything. Pluses and minuses, ins and outs.
Sure.
We're all looking for the rug that ties the room together. I get it. You get that reference? Maybe. No. Big Lebowski.
I was gonna say I did get
God
that one.
damn it!
I did get that one. That was a good
All right,
one.
Cool.
That was a good one.
Anyway.
Another dude abides.
But at the end of the day, it didn't matter where we were because the concept was true. And if it's true, then you can do it anywhere. And there are a lot of people who live in Denver who love the outdoors. And we basically built a big mountain cabin in the heart of the city, and it gives someone the opportunity to get that vibe even when they're not out there.
Yeah. It gives them a sense
I
of
like
comfort of knowing like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is my vibe. Like I'm wearing a flannel in here, which is like mountainy.
Well, I
If you
wore a
wanna
Hawaiian shirt because they
Which-
do Aloha Fridays, so it's
Yeah,
like,
It's
buddy.
Wednesday, Thomas.
okay,
Doesn't
but they
matter.
still do them.
Respect.
Aloha all the time.
We call it our Friday fun shirt.
Yeah, no, I'll be in here on Fridays,
All right.
knowing that. I
$1
have,
off.
anybody
Yeah.
that knows me knows I have at least 30 Hawaiian shirts. So,
I've got quite a few.
yeah,
So, fun story about Hawaiian shirts.
yeah please.
Back in my youth corps days, every Friday, all the crew leaders and woods bosses, whatever, would go out before the session and buy the loudest, most obnoxious Hawaiian shirts.
Hell
that.
And
yeah.
on Fridays, we would all wear Hawaiian shirts. It was like we just spent a week in the woods. We're coming out. We haven't showered in a week or two. And we're going to wear this crazy Hawaiian shirt because it's fucking Friday fun day.
I love that.
So we brought that into here, and I would be one of the only people who actually work here that would wear a Hawaiian shirt all
Really?
the time. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean
man.
the brewers are too fucking hot, man. Made out of synthetic stuff, and it sucks.
Oh come on.
Yeah, it doesn't
Come
matter.
on.
I-
Support the
Spirit, man.
cause.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's a fun thing that we keep going regardless of whether or not anyone shows up wearing it because the idea is fun. So whatever.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
You wear a Hawaiian shirt, you gotta buck off on Friday.
Yeah.
You earned it by wearing it.
So if you feel like talking about it, your guys' wilderness crew program
Yeah,
is
cool.
fucking awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
I was looking through it and looking through all the perks. I'm like, this is such underrated value for what you get out of everything
pays
here.
For itself
Yeah.
multiple times.
If you don't mind diving into some of the
Sure.
big details so our
Yes.
listeners can hear.
And I'm going to do a bad job of providing all of those very specific details.
You guys can also find all these details on their website
Yeah,
too.
the-
We'll link it
We'll
here in
throw
the
up a
episode.
graphic, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll throw up
we'll
a
throw up a
graphic.
graphic.
You guys can go search around, but
They're
That's
gonna be like, "Oh, we missed one."
Yes. So, a lot of breweries have mug clubs or membership programs and all that sort of stuff. The Wilderness Crew is our membership program, right? people who are fans who come on the regular, and we wanted to be able to offer them something that they could be connected with, right? So last year was our inaugural year, and basically the way it works is it's like a perks pool. You know, you buy into it. It's I think like $200, but you get one crowler a month. You get a guest ticket to any lodge show that might be happening. So it's like a buy one get one sort of thing. Every year we do it, we're only in our second year. There's like some sort of cool thing that you can use out in the woods. The first 2 years have both been light associated.
Like those little like lanterns that you can pop out.
So last year was like a little mag light because those things are so fucking handy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this year we have a little lantern for when you're camping, which also is a flashlight. Because
That's cool.
you can never have enough light when you're camping.
I can attest
Ain't
to
that
that.
the truth?
I can attest to that.
I wanted to do a trowel for when you need to go pooping out in the woods.
Oh, that's nice.
We were actually looking at it, and then folks were like, I don't know. I was like, fine, a lantern.
Here's a poop shovel, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Underrated. That's all I'm saying.
Underrated.
Yeah. Anyway, so you get all these different perks, and then there's also some really cool, unique ones. Like every year we do a couple of special release bottles that are only available to Wilderness Crew members.
Cool.
Now, it might not be a beer that is no one else gets, right?
Sure.
But it's the only way that we're going to package it is going to a Wilderness Crew member.
Okay.
So the beer you're drinking, Barrel Age Hisolda,
Right.
you can only get on tap, or if you're a Wilderness Crew member, you get a bottle of it that you can take home.
That's really
dope.
cool.
So
Put it in the
basically, it's an exclusive club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
well, I mean,
I don't even like labeling it as that.
It's not exclusive. It's anyone can join. There's no limit.
Right.
But if you join, you get exclusive stuff.
Yes, exactly. Because we wanted to make it worthwhile. The
Yeah.
other thing that
This beer is amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
I would pay for the membership just to get this beer.
Thomas, what are you drinking?
What?
What are you drinking?
Oh, it is the barrel aged Hisolda. You
Yeah.
said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the specs of it, but it is delicious. It is you have a non-barrel age. Is that
we
correct?
do, yeah.
And it's an Irish cream stout.
Irish coffee cream stuff.
Irish coffee cream stout.
Yes.
Now it's delicious.
So this
Like I
is a
said, I would
Russian
sign up for that
Imperial
just for
version
this.
of
I love it.
barrel aged. Russian
Happy Stout Month, by the way.
Yeah.
Neither of you are drinking stouts, but that's
Happy
okay.
Stout
You
Month.
know, it's funny. As I get older, I move further and further away from like the high octane stuff.
So I know we have a question.
I get
on
that
here,
though. I get that.
But what's your favorite beer on the menu right now? Or what do you go to when you want to drink?
What I'm drinking.
What is it?
At the moment, well, I'm drinking our Dunkel.
Dunkel.
The
Ooh,
Dunkel.
I love a good Dunkel.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that one next.
No, but my actual answer is like whatever I'm pouring for myself is my favorite beer on top.
That's a good
That's
answer.
fair.
So,
You
look,
can never fail. That's a
Yeah.
good answer. That's a good
Oh, yeah, it's
answer.
true, right? So here's the deal. I'm a brewer, and I love beer, which is why I got into this industry and wanted to
Yeah.
open up a brewery. I have 20 beers on tap because I like lots of different kinds of beer. I don't give a flying fuck what you like. I only care that you can find something you like when you come here, which ties back to our being a community. So,
All good.
yeah, a community center brewery is like beer for the people, right?
Yeah.
So if you like IPAs, we got the stouts, lagers, Belgians, whatever, weird esoteric mind fuck shit, sours. I want you to be able to find the beer that you're going to be happy with when you come in, and that holds true for me. Is like I like it all except for Rausch beers.
Yeah, not a big Roush beer.
I honestly
So-
don't know if I've ever had a Roush beer.
It's just I heavily smoked beer.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I have been.
Yeah, I know. I quit smoking a long time ago, and ever since then, like heavily smoky flavors just turn me wrong.
Yeah. So if you
Got your
get
taste.
people coming in here and they're the typical Coors Bud Light
Sure.
drinker.
Right.
What
Starting early.
direction do you normally point him in? Do you try to get him to try like an IPA, or do
Yeah,
you
always.
try to get him to do like, oh, I have like a Kolsch or I have a Pilsner that you might like? Because typically, like if I'm with friends and they're like, oh yeah, I love Bud Light, I'm like, man, you have some exploring to do, my friend. So I'm like, here's something similar but more crisp.
Yeah,
Or-
so I try to meet people where they're at, right?
Mhm.
There is way too much ego in the beer world.
That's fair.
That is
Both
a fair
on the
statement.
brewing and the consuming side, right?
Mhm.
Folks are like, oh, I've checked in 30,000 beers. Like, you're drunk. Like, that's way too many. Like, do you remember any of them? Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah, that's why you check them in, so you remember them.
oh yeah, but checking in rating is a whole other thing. We're not going to get into that.
That's yeah, it's all subjective for sure.
So subjective. It's really annoying. But to answer your question, Bud Light drinker that comes in, I've got to go to
Okay.
which is our starting early American craft lager. We actually first brewed it as a little tongue-in-cheek thing. We got a pitch of Budweiser yeast, American lager yeast, right? And we were gonna brew like a really good Budweiser, which American craft lager.
Yeah.
But
Who doesn't like it?
We're gonna call it a trash lager. Can't really call it. I mean, we can call it trash lager.
You
but
could
we're
call
probably
it a
gonna-
trash
Little dig
panda.
in there.
Little raccoon action. That would have been great.
You know, wish I'd thought of it.
It's okay. Just call me for the next one.
But people are like, you got a Bud, you got a Coors. I'm like, no, I have something way better that you're gonna like. So I have that as a go-to. For the first almost 3.5 years we were open, right up until the pandemic happened. And 2 weeks after that, I had a baby and then stopped working the bar because I was way too
Congratulations.
busy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's almost 3.
Oh, wow.
Which tells you how long the pandemic is. Which is rad. Anyway,
It's
so,
rad.
yeah, I worked. So me and Chad and at the time my other brewer Ryan, we claimed Wednesdays. So it was brewers and owners behind the bar every Wednesday, the entire shift.
I like that though.
And one of my
That's cool.
favorite things to do was when someone would walk in and say, "I'm starting to lose my voice." Perfect. I don't like this style. I'm like, we'll see. Like, let's give it a shot.
Take 2 sips and then
Yeah.
tell me how you
Yeah.
feel.
And
Yeah.
I would give them as many tastes as I would need to help them find a beer and to challenge their pre-assumptions about what they like. People come in, I don't like dark beers. Like,
Yeah, I
that's
hate that
probably not
statement
true.
so much.
Because dark is a color, not a flavor.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You can't lump all dark beers into the same thing. A Russian Imperial is not the same as any other stout, much less a porter, much less a brown, much less a Czech dark lager, much less a dark saison, much less whatever that has dark color. You can add dark without adding like coffee or burnt or bitter.
Yeah.
If you know how to make a good beer.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
I just want to follow this up real quick
Do it.
because Ken was telling me you helped open a brewery.
Who's
in-
Ken?
Okay. All right.
We already
I was
did
like,
that bit.
oh no, did I get it wrong again? No, he told me you helped open a brewery in Nepal. So I'm sure
did?
you. Yeah.
Ken did.
No, you did.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
no, he
gonna be
told
like,
me-
Oh man, he's really playing
motherfucker,
mind
tell
games
my
with you.
story.
No, but like, you must know a shit ton of beer that like the normal craft beer drinker would not know.
Not as a result of living in Nepal.
Well, I know, but like you're very well traveled.
So, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I like adventure and going out in the world and all that sort of stuff. I think this is true of most brewery owners. We don't have time to go out and drink other people's beer. So
Interesting concept.
yeah, people think a lot of things about brewery owners, and almost all of them are wrong. One, I don't drink every day. In fact, most days I don't.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
good.
Drink at all.
That is true willpower at its
Yeah.
finest.
No, I'm too fucking busy, and I have
Yeah.
a 2.5-year-old. So
No.
you know.
So, the people are dying to know. Are you
they?
doing Woods Block again this year?
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Can you give us any information onto that? Like when it is, what it is?
Yes. And I'm referring to my notes.
Or you can
free.
even
Feel free.
reference to last year's
Sure.
block party.
Yeah.
So, Woods Block started as our anniversary party. Shut down the block and threw a rager, right? That was the idea. Brought in a stage and bands and vendors and all that sort of stuff. Just celebrating for everybody. Community and all that sort of stuff. That one was in August in 2018, and it was fucking hot. It was like 150 degrees on the pavement. Oh, it was just brutal. We're like, all
You
right.
just do it right out here, right?
Yeah, totally.
I bet that was a massive killer.
No, yeah, it was a lot of fun. But like with anything, you got to get the word out. It takes a few years to sort of build it up. So then in 2019, we pushed it back into September, where hopefully it'll be a little cooler, and that was great. And then 2020, we didn't do it.
Right.
2021, we still weren't ready to pull the trigger because it was all over the place. So we brought it back in 2022, and that one was, I think it was like my birthday weekend, so like end of September.
Cool.
What
a way to celebrate.
Because I was working.
Yeah, that is
I've
true.
worked my birthday every single year. It's okay. Birthday's just a day.
When's your birthday?
September 20th.
Ah,
September
okay.
20th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a busy time
I'm
for
a
sure.
Libra. No, I'm a Virgo. Libra cusp.
Aries rising or some
Libra.
shit.
It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't personally believe in it. Not disparaging it if you do, other than the fact that it's not science.
When Mercury is in retrograde.
Yes.
Wait, Mercury's in Gatorade. I gotta go.
That's a thing. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Gatorade. Anyway, so it's tentatively scheduled for October 7th of this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, great fall time of year.
Yeah.
Still warm, but not, like, crazy hot. We shifted a little bit. So we had just shut down the entire block of California the year before, like, the first two times we did it. This last year, we basically did half of California, and then half of 22nd Street.
Oh, so you had like this corner blocked off.
Yeah, we had a
Cool.
wraparound. And that was great because it allowed us to incorporate the lodge. We haven't talked about the lodge yet.
Right.
Assume that we're going to talk about
Yes,
the lodge.
we will
Yes.
absolutely.
We
Oh,
don't
talk
have
about
to,
the
but
lodge.
we will.
Why would we talk
Depending
about,
on how long you want to stay here and talk
Why
with
would we
us.
talk about something so awesome?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And that was cool. We partnered with our neighbors as well, one of whom at the time was, doesn't matter because they don't exist anymore, but they were a taco joint, and they brought in like lucha libre wrestling. And that was fun. And, yeah,
Nice.
there was some cool things and some weird things, and it's, we're just throwing a party for the neighborhood. It's kind of the idea. So yeah, we plan on doing it every year. That's
Good.
the goal. That's the intent. So that's why I say tentatively, because I'm not in charge of planning it. I just support, and I asked Chad, who's in charge of planning it, and he says, yes, tentatively October 7th. So hopefully that happens.
How long does he tell you tentatively? Hopefully not until
Week-
like a
week
week
before.
before.
No. I mean, the permits basically need to be submitted within the next month.
Okay.
That's
I
fair.
mean,
Yeah.
it's basically like 9 months worth of planning.
Yeah. I mean,
It's hard to plan a festival, that's for sure.
It is, and it costs a lot of money to throw down. So there's also, can we afford to do it? Well,
Yeah.
fuck it, we're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. We'll do it live.
Yeah, sure.
Do you typically like release any special beers around that time?
I mean, I like to think that every beer we release is special.
Well, okay, no,
Tom.
not discounting that.
No.
but
Loaded question,
Do
Tom.
you
Come on.
release a beer? Okay, maybe they're all special. Do you release a beer?
Yeah,
around that
we
time?
always throw down something for the
Call me
anniversary.
out, Jordan.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
I'm good at it. I'm a New Yorker. I'm gonna tell you, go fuck yourself with love.
With
Yeah, no, we're always trying to pair events with special releases as much as we can.
Nice.
We're not as good at it as other breweries because we're just slammed all the time and just try to keep up, and that requires forward thinking on my part, which I'm sometimes good at and sometimes not. And I'm not always thinking about the event, I'm just thinking about the beer.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's where your counterpart comes into play, though.
Yeah,
like
that's
they
where he
pick
pokes
you up
me.
where you fall down, just like him and I. Like I pick him up when he falls down, and vice versa.
Sure,
Like, it's,
I
absolutely.
fell down.
It's
a lot.
yin and yang.
No, 100%. And he's
Physically,
great.
I
He's
fall
like,
down.
what are you going to brew for Block Party? And he reminds me like 4 months ahead of time. I'm like, oh, yeah, I should probably figure that out. At which point we do, you know. And right now, considering it's 9 months away, I don't know what we're going to be releasing, but we will.
Cool.
So
Bank it.
We'll be on the lookout.
when you go to figure out the special release beer for the block party,
Yeah.
do you,
Or anything.
or anything for that matter, do you guys take in a lot of like customer feedback, or like do you just kind of go what you think is going to be best for the crowd or for your drinkers, or I guess
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's no one recipe for success with that sort of thing.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a little bit of all of it, right? And it can change from year to year. And there are times that, yeah, we do customer polls. Like, what do you want us to brew?
Right.
And usually they're all over the place and we don't know what the actual answer is because they don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
Either.
yeah.
And then we think about what it is we want to brew, and that changes. And we're not always in lockstep. You know?
Yeah.
One of us wants to brew classic, you know, crispy boy. The other wants to brew, you know, batshit crazy hazy with all sorts of weird stuff. And another one wants to brew something else,
Yeah.
an American brown ale, because
You doing-
that's sexy in its own way.
Do you do any pumpkin spice for the basic bitches?
We do not do pumpkin beers. We do other stuff. So Ryan Logan is my head brewer. He and I met when we were both brewing at Tommyknocker.
Oh, cool.
And years ago.
Yeah.
And we became great friends. And we had very similar brewing philosophies and work ethics and all that sort of stuff, and got really tight. And I told him that I was working on starting my own brewery someday, and that when I did, I was going to steal him away to come brew with me. We were going to do this together. And he's like, rad. We'll see if that ever happens. You give me a call. And it did. He was like, rad. Let's do that. But we had to brew a lot of pumpkin beer, and we hated brewing it. And neither of us enjoy pumpkin beers because the pumpkin itself doesn't add any real significant flavor to the beer. It's just the spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And neither of us really care for the pumpkin spice.
That like cinnamony kind of goodness.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because really pumpkin doesn't have that.
It has almost no flavor.
It's like
Yeah.
any
Oh,
flavor
no. Yeah,
profile.
yeah.
No,
So
there's
that,
an earthy component to it,
yeah.
which gets covered up by the spice.
It's like, yeah, next we're going to make a cucumber ale.
Yeah.
You're not going to taste it. You're just going to taste alcohol.
Okay, so like you can have cucumber ales. That's different. But similar. You got to make it real light so you can taste the cucumber.
Here's the point. We sometimes bow down to what the market is telling us, and sometimes we hold to our guns.
But no
Yeah.
pumpkin beers.
The
It doesn't.
pumpkin-
I don't care what the market says.
We know if we made a pumpkin beer, we would sell a fuckload of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't like them. It's a philosophical stopping point for us. That's not to disparage pumpkin beers. Like, people like them. People brew good ones. That's fine. It's not our thing, so we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I
It's just
respect you for that.
It's just
Sure.
not in the cards, and that's not the hand you want to play to the general population.
Exactly.
Like, I get it.
We do other things that do that.
Yeah.
But that we also like.
Do.
Yeah. Since we are on festivals, block parties, topics,
Yeah.
are you guys going to be in any beer festivals in the near future?
Yeah.
And
I was at one last weekend.
which one was that?
Uller Grass.
Bluegrass.
Uller
Oh,
Grass is a
The one
winter
in,
thing. Golden.
Silverthorn?
No,
Oh,
Golden.
okay.
So
I did see that.
Breckenridge
Yeah.
does a Uller Fest
Yes.
Uller
it's
is
Brett.
like the
Yeah,
god
yeah,
of winter, right?
Yeah.
Norse
Yeah.
god of winter. So there's Uller Fest, and they have a parade and all that sort of stuff up in Breckenridge. I ended up in the hospital as a result of participating in that with my buddies from Broken Compass years ago.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was.
You don't have to go into that one if you don't want to, but if you do, go for it.
One of the reasons why I don't drink that much anymore. Like, I ended up like severely dehydrated as a result of going way too hard.
Yeah.
Thought I was
It
having
happens.
appendicitis.
Oh, shit.
It was just dehydration. It was muscle cramps, but
Yeah.
I thought I was dying.
You never know.
Yeah,
You
totally.
could have been
Anyway,
dying.
Don't go hard at elevation, all of you.
Know your limits, people.
Yeah,
Know
exactly.
your limits.
Anyway, Ullergrass is.
Or do and don't complain about it.
I'm not complaining. It's just happening.
We got a lot of Oklahoma people listening to this.
Okies.
It's probably good advice for them to not go hard at
Yeah.
elevation.
Just take it easy, guys and gals, for that matter. Anyway, Ullergrass is winter craft beer and bluegrass festival in Golden.
Hell yeah.
We've been doing it for years. It's awesome. We've got we do beer festivals all year long.
Yeah.
We get hit up about a lot of them. We don't do all of them.
Yeah.
We do ones where we connect with the cause. We do ones where we support the thing that they're trying to do, like Colorado Brewers Guild. We'll do almost all of their festivals because they represent us. We want to represent them.
Right.
And then we do the ones that we individually enjoy doing,
Yeah.
regardless of whether or not there's a benefit to the brewery as a result.
Are you going to be at the Winter Beer Fest?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
talk about that
Yeah,
more
the
in a
Boulder.
later
Yeah,
segment.
We've
But these
done
guys are
that
gonna be there.
one every year that we've been open.
Cool.
And the first year we took second in People's Choice Award.
Nice.
The second year we actually took first, and then there were 2 years of pandemic, and now we're going back. So
Right.
I'm bringing my fucking A game. They're ready.
Man, you got some dirt on your shoulder.
Yeah,
So,
it might
Yeah,
be dandruff.
brush it off.
gotta look presentable.
Beer dandruff.
It's a thing, people.
No, I mean, when we do festivals, we have 20 beers on tap. So when folks are like, bring 2 to 3 beers, we're like, fuck that, we're bringing 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, again, beer for the people.
You gotta get them stocked.
Yeah.
Well,
you got to give people options too, and
It also
let them
allows us
explore
to
the
show
brewery.
them what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The depth and breadth of our passion and skill and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I did Brewers Rendezvous, one of my favorites.
Okay.
And there was supposed to be like 4 of us going up last year. It's up in Salida every year. Great festival. One of
Great
our favorites.
area too.
Yeah. And that's a Colorado Brewers Guild one, and it's a total brewers festival, which you know is going to be a good one.
Hell yeah.
And all the brewers in order to show up for that one, it's fucking great. They have, I think, 50 breweries at that one.
Cool.
And, your standard beer festival has like 20.
Right.
So this
Yeah.
is a big one. But the other 3 people that were supposed to show up bailed on me, and I worked that one by myself in 100-degree weather, and my head was ready to
Woof.
explode because I never stopped to drink water.
Unforgiving.
But I brought like 11 different beers, which meant that I had to talk about all of them to everyone who showed up. Which
I'm a robot.
do it, yeah. No, it's all fun.
Truly is a Woods boss.
Yeah.
At that
We
point.
like to
At
yell
least
at
the
our
boss.
customers.
I guess for really like this last portion, we kind of want to dive into your beer menu.
Sure.
So
And the lodge.
and the
Yes,
lodge
and the
as well.
lodge, Yes.
Lodge
was like our last bit.
Yes.
I mean, we should talk about beer at some point.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So
I
currently,
gotcha.
how many beers do you guys have on tap? And
So that's a variable.
it is, yeah, which
So-
I figured that'd be the
What's
case.
your minimum?
20.
20. Okay.
If you count a craft seltzer.
I think it counts.
Sure.
I saw.
Actually, it's more than that. On tap, because we also carry Holidaily as a year-round permanent gluten-free
Okay.
option.
Yeah.
We just don't make it.
Yeah. It's a
Is
nice
it-
little guest tap, though.
And again, this comes back to our concept of community, right? just because you can handle gluten doesn't mean you can't come hang out here and enjoy a beer.
Right.
And while I could make a gluten-free beer, I couldn't do it certified because I do other stuff here. And quite frankly, Holiday is the best of what they do. So why wouldn't I just buy their shit and serve it, which is what we do.
Right.
Sure.
So 21
21.
at any one time. At the same time, we usually have several bottles or other offerings in cans that are not necessarily available on tap that you could get.
Right.
If you include the lodge, where the tap list might vary, it could be up to 32.
So you guys have a good selection when you come in here. I mean, me personally, I
Yes,
consider
depends
that.
on your
Oh, yeah.
definition of good
I
lodge.
consider that a good selection.
Sure.
Honestly, anything over 7 beer choices, which 7's a really random number,
I don't-
but
I mean,
that is really random.
there are
but
some breweries I've been to that have like 10 max. So
Yeah.
Sure.
20 is
And
a
there's
good.
and 4 of those are
There's
like
also
almost the
nothing
same.
wrong with that.
No.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are some breweries that have like 4 beers on tap at any one time. Bierstadt Lager House, and those guys are fucking amazing.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
they don't
Yeah.
need more than 4. Like
Yeah.
they have what
They brew the classics, and that's what they're good at.
they
Yeah.
do it right. You know. That being said, you know, we go about it in a different way.
Right.
Sure.
We like a lot of different things, and we want to brew all of them. We want to have access to them on the regular, and we want to be able to offer those things.
Right.
So, anyway.
What is
Okay.
so for someone who hasn't come to Woods Boss before, what is your flagship beer? What is, like, people come in, they see, like, that's your most popular, that's what I'm gonna drink.
Yeah,
or-
I hate that question.
I'm sorry I asked that
No, it's
question.
okay.
Someone's got to be the bad
Withdraw.
guy.
No.
Withdraw.
Here's the reason why I hate that question. Because I get it a lot, so I understand why it's asked. It doesn't matter what our flagship beer is, because if you don't like that style, that does nothing for you.
Exactly.
So I like to say we don't have a flagship. We have a few year-rounders that we've done consistently all the way through. Some people call them our flagships. I don't, personally.
Okay.
So year-round, and then we have seasonal ones that come back every single year, but they're not all year long.
I guess maybe what's a beer that you brew
I know what you're
that,
looking
like
for
you
me to say.
like you
and
brew
I'll
all
answer
the
it.
year through.
No, I know what you're looking for me to say, and I'll answer it. If you were to ask someone who's not me what one of our flagships would be, it would probably be the Oswald.
Okay.
Full of hops, which is a New England IPA, right? One of the first beers we ever made, and people went apeshit over it, and we've never taken it off tap. It's
Okay.
never gone dry.
Cool.
So the world at large might consider that one of our flagships.
Sure.
But we are, by design, a one-off brewery. We're always mixing it up. There are beers, multiple beers releasing every single month. On average, we brew 30 to 50 unique beers a year, right? So
That's awesome.
depends on the year.
That's awesome.
And things have shifted as we've gotten into distribution.
Right.
And
It's the nature of the business.
yeah, it's all good, but we're always brewing something different. I've got 20 taps to fill. It gives me flexibility.
Yeah. You get to be your own mad scientist at
Yes.
that point.
Yeah, it's fun.
Bringing it back to the science. Yeah.
So beer is both art and science, right?
Yeah.
It's cooking and it's chemistry and biology. Generally speaking, like 5, maybe 6 year-rounders.
Okay.
So there's the Oswald, our Czech Dam, which is a Czech-style Pilsner, Stern Early, which is our American lager, Fruity Flash, which is our fruity kettle sour, which is drinking right now.
Finished.
But the fun one
Done.
about that, it's Fruity Flash year-round, but we changed the fruit from like every 2 batches or so.
Oh,
Oh, that's
nice.
cool.
That's cool.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
every batch obviously is going to be different, which that's inherently the same with every batch of beer that you
but
make.
this is intentionally
but
different.
yes, I like that.
That's very cool.
So, and we love fruit combinations because there's a whole world of fruit combinations out there that are all
Yeah.
rad.
Yeah.
We've done blackberry, pineapple, mango, which is what is on right now. The next one we're doing is all the berries, which is all the berries that we can possibly get.
Yeah.
Capri Sun
There's like
berries.
5 different berries in there. It tastes like fucking fruit punch. It's great.
That's awesome.
We've done calamansi lime with strawberry. Calamansi is an Asian lime with strawberry. We've done prickly pear passion fruit. We've done Buddha's hand with plum. We've done a bunch. I mean, we've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
Point
Crazy
being
stuff.
is that like that one sounds fun. Let's do that one.
Yeah.
So-
You're definitely not stagnant.
No, I was saying you
Yeah.
almost have
You're just
endless
evolving all
combinations
the
that you
time.
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is
That's
awesome. That's
we're
the
brewing the
mad
same
scientist
beer,
that
but
comes
we're
out.
keeping it fresh for
Yeah.
ourselves and for everyone else.
Yeah.
We also have Coastal Companion is a year-round, what we call San Diego style IPA. It doesn't mean anything. It's just the style that I attach to a West Coast because I associate San Diego style IPAs differently from other West Coasts. West Coast being generally like piney, resiny, dank, kind of malty. But San Diego's are like light and crisp and fruity with some pine, but soft at the same time, and that's what that beer is.
Okay.
Sure.
One of my favorites.
Cool.
And Foothills Fire Red. My fire department, when I was a volunteer firefighter for 9 years, was Foothills Fire and Rescue. So
Gotcha.
that's in honor of that. We use a little bit of smoked malt in there, a little bit.
Just a little.
Little
It's
bit.
not-
Just
it's
a
not
hair.
Roush
Not super
beer.
over.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not a
Roush.
Roush beer.
Just a hair.
And if you didn't know that there was smoked malt in there, you'd never know there was smoked malt in there unless you have a super sensitive palate.
I guess just a splinter
Yeah.
of
But
smoke.
generally speaking, I've got 15 other lines that are just constantly rotating throughout the year. I would say that our flagship is really good fucking beer.
Cool.
I actually love
Love
that
that.
answer because typically, okay, this isn't like I talk to brewers a lot or
You should.
like
Not yet.
brewery owners, I should
Not
say.
yet.
Sometimes they're both.
Yeah, so, that is very true. But typically, they already have like that answer on cue. Like, yeah, this is our flagship.
Yeah.
This is
like
what
if,
people
like
come
if
in
you talk
for.
to someone from Four Noses, they'd be like, "About damn time." That's our flagship.
Yeah, New Terrain, Golden Haze.
That's a good.
or-
That's. I feel like that's a good response.
Tommy's
It's
a
like,
great guy.
We make great beer.
So Tommy, the owner of Four Noses, is a good buddy. He and I grew up like maybe 12 miles from each other
Really?
at
Really?
different points.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
He's some number of years younger than me. Not that many, but like we didn't know each other. We met
Gotcha.
out here, realized that we both grew up in Westchester, and we're both Jewish.
Small world.
Really?
I know there's not a lot of them.
I mean, like,
And we all know each
yeah,
other.
I found it really like.
We have the
funny.
same lawyer. It's cool.
No, they are the lawyers.
It's all right. My father and brother are both lawyers. You know.
No,
It
that's
is what it is.
that's fucking crazy. That's a small world that you guys are both like. Not only do we know
Well,
each other, but
so-
we're the same religion.
What's funny is that Brandon, who owns Purpose, who was the brewer, one of the brewers for Four Noses, Brandon and I went to the same high school.
Wow.
Cool.
Small brewer world.
Yeah, small
8
world.
years apart, something like that.
That is
Okay.
crazy.
It's all small world.
So, aside from the brewery, where can most people find your guys' beer at?
So, all over the place in Colorado,
Okay.
or in 40 states if you go through our online ordering or through Beer Drop.
Okay.
Okay.
Through our website. We work with Craft Alley, which is also Beer Drop, which is also Drop Ship, which by working through them, they carry the license that allows us to ship beer to 40 of 50 states.
Okay.
So I don't know if Oklahoma
That's a tricky one.
might.
Oklahoma sucks.
They
It's
don't.
fine.
They don't drop ship. It won't happen.
I mean, they might. It depends on the liquor law.
They don't. No, they don't. No, it's because of the liquor law. They don't ship.
Oh,
alcohol.
you've checked.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm gonna
sorry,
fact
Because
check.
Oklahoma.
I try
I'm
to
gonna
send
fact
all
check
my
Tom on
friends
this.
that beer. It just doesn't work.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
Lame.
So
But
the
you've got
other
the-
way is get
you've
a
got
buddy
a-
to buy it and put it in the mail for you.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
you've got
Yeah.
you've got a locator on your website though, right?
We do. I can't say that it's anywhere close to up to date because for the first 2.5 years that we got into canning, which I never wanted to do, I only ever wanted to have a tap room and have people come drink
Let people
it.
in.
I wanted people to come so we
Yeah.
could talk to them and talk about the beer and shoot the shit and become friends and whatever. But then a global pandemic happened. And
Yeah.
I had to be able to sell my beer elsewhere, so we started putting it in cans, and we found success. And we kind of kept doing it. We were doing self-distro, just hyper local, till we found that we couldn't really keep up and do it. So we just recently, about 3 months ago, signed with a distributor. So now we're all over Colorado, Western Slope, north, south, and then east as far as they go, like Aurora and maybe whatever.
Gotcha.
So we're getting further and deeper. And keep an eye out. And if you don't see our beer, if you're in Colorado, ask for it.
Well, I know we're about to wrap up here.
Yep.
But before we do that, tell us what you can about the lodge.
Yeah. So the lodge was like our secondary location within the same building that we originated in. It's a separate unit connected by a hallway from the main tap room that used to be a kickboxing studio that went under at the beginning of the pandemic, and our landlords offered it to us, and we're like, no. It's a pandemic. Like, what are you talking about? And then we got further out and we started thinking about it. We realized that we got asked to do private events a lot, which we turned down most of them because we don't like closing, because we want the community to be able to know that they can show up here pretty much any day.
Sure.
So we turned down a lot of private events. We're like, all right, so if we had an actual event space, we could honor basically all those requests. Plus, we're now packaging and we need to brew more beer, and we'd like to get our own canning line, so we can turn it into a dual purpose space, which is what it is.
Sure.
So the lodge is our event space plus additional packaging. It's got about 100-person capacity, and what it's become is a menagerie of opportunity.
Well, I mean, we've shot some shows at the lodge,
Oh, cool.
and it's so cool to have a venue that's dealing out its own beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's, I really like the aspect of like, oh, I'm getting exclusive beer, but
kinda
also
unique.
seeing a unique show.
Yeah. So we will host our own events, concerts, comedy nights. We used to do a weekly open mic night, but we've dropped it down to the second Tuesday of every month. So local musicians come second Tuesday of every month, come play, hang out, have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
We have a once a month burlesque show.
All right.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
You're totally
what a-
feeding into the Denver vibes.
Yeah, like we're into it. We get some comedy in there, all that sort of stuff. But we also do a lot of private events. We've done corporate multi-day sales meetings. Like our Brewers Supply Group had their 3-day sales conference here, which is fucking rad. And
Yeah.
I was able to then get credit to buy more grain, which was cool. We've had baby showers, we've had weddings, we've had engagement parties, we've had birthday parties, we've had whatever happy hours and meetups and all that sort of stuff. And it's a way to offer something different without shutting down the tap room, the main tap room itself.
Right.
Because that is its own tap room. And there's brewing equipment in there, so you got all that cool brewery eye candy and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
And Woods Boss Beer.
Yeah.
So,
I love the lodge.
Thank
It's
you.
a great
The
aesthetic.
lodge-
Yeah.
It's a great vibe.
The
We've
lodge
had-
is a very cool vibe. It's a cool setting.
We've had some pretty amazing musicians, and I'm
Yeah.
going to read
yeah.
because this is the thing that I can't remember.
Sure.
So Joe, who does all of our bookings, like, talk about these guys. So we've had Andy Frasco, we've had Jason Hahn from String Cheese Incident, Elliot Peck from Turpin Family Band and Midnight North, Tim Carbone from Railroad Earth, all play there. That's
Wow.
fucking cool. Those are
Yeah.
those bands that I
Very cool.
enjoy.
Yeah.
And all sorts of stuff. Like it's a lot of fun. We also have full like AV, so we do Broncos games there. We're gonna
Yeah.
show the Super Bowl
Nice.
there, and like
Well, I guess I
partner
know
with
where I'm going to see the Super Bowl.
right?
now.
Yeah, it's fucking rad. We're gonna partner with someone to do like a food and beer football Super Bowl thing. We've shown the Stanley Cup there. Like we can do whatever works there.
And you rent it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, totally.
Well, we're about to wrap up, but is there any message you'd like to send out to the viewers before we wrap up?
Yes. Support your local brewery. Go to their tap room. Does not have to be mine. We all would love to have you come back on the regular and be part of it and spread the love. Go to lots of different breweries. Like if you love beer, get out there. Try different shit. Try things that you don't think you would like. Ask for a little taste. You don't have to like it, but you should try it because, expand your horizons. Be adventurous.
I've always found flights are the best way to do that.
I fucking hate flights.
Really?
God damn it. Yeah.
Why?
The problem with
Give me a little 5 ounce of everything.
yeah, the problem
Just take the plunge, man.
See everybody.
I'm enjoying this, by the way. This is fun. I hope you are too.
I
good.
hate flights.
Shit.
So
Tom's beer just shattered.
here's the deal. Every beer tender in the world hates flights.
Well, yeah.
They're a giant pain in the ass. We do them because we respect them and we get the value and we get that you get to try a bunch of beer. My issue as a brewer is that 4 ounces is not enough to actually get to know the beer.
Yeah, it's like you're going to dip out in the first
And-
10 minutes of a
That's an
date.
interesting take, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you get 5 and they're all over the map, you're blowing up your palate from one
Yeah.
to the next.
Okay.
So what I recommend whenever I'm at the bar and someone orders a flight, I'm like, I will do this for you, but hear me out first. Instead of getting 5 4-ounce beers for whatever that costs, get 3 10-ounce beers for a little bit more, less variety, but then you get to get into that beer a little bit more, and you can have a more full experience with that one beer.
That's
I
a
love
really
that.
cool way to
I
approach that.
love that.
Yeah.
That's
You're welcome.
Yeah. You just changed
the
my
man
whole
with
world.
all the answers, the true fucking boss.
Yeah.
Nah,
Love it.
I only know some things. The problem is I don't know what I don't know.
Well,
But I
Join
recognize
the
that's
club.
that's everybody's problem.
Join the club.
But I recognize that it exists. So
Jordan Fink, owner and director of operations of Woods Boss Brewing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank
Thanks
you,
for
Jordan.
hanging out.
You've
Brews, and Derek's going to kick us off with views and brews.
This first one I have is from Outer Range. If y'all, I don't know how everyone likes to go about their pronouns, but if y'all,
Are we Farrapin?
God, and I ain't from Texas,
Y'all's collective. I use y'all, and I'm from New Mexico.
if y'all are passing through Colorado, whether you're coming from the East Coast, the West Coast, if you're driving from Denver up into the mountains and you have not gone to Outer Range yet,
Oh, yeah.
you are missing out.
They have such a cool brewery, too.
One, their brewery is so cool to stop
You
into.
can stop out on the balcony and see the views.
They have a balcony. They have a space like a turf space, and they have yard games. You can bring your dogs. They have a little food. I think it's almost like a food truck within the brewery.
Okay.
It's a chicken place, and I think
I know what you're talking
like
about,
an
yeah.
Asian
Yeah,
fusion.
It's like a food court.
Yeah, it's
almost,
it's like a mini
Yeah.
mini food court.
It's underrated and overwhelming for
Yes.
the size. Like you walk in there and you're like, holy shit, I have so many options.
Yeah,
When we went to Copper last year, we stopped and had at least 3, I think.
yeah. It's very.
Even I had 3.
It's very hard to not continuously drink more beer there.
Yeah.
But anyways,
And it's dog friendly.
Yeah, it is dog friendly.
Super
it is
dog
dog
friendly.
friendly, which makes it helpful. But anyways, this week I drank their Lo and Behold. I believe this is a new IPA that they have on rotation because
Yeah.
usually they have about, I want to say 5 to 7 IPAs on rotation. Some are the heavy hitters, some are the not,
Flagships.
flagships
Yeah.
or like lower ABV if you want to get real beer snooty
Sure.
with it. This one actually was very much on the hazy side. It's very clear in I don't want to say clear in color, but it's a lighter color base, which technically
Like
per
this?
our interview
Or clearer than this?
clearer than that.
Okay.
It's a very yellow, like sunshine, almost kind of like this type of yellow, which I don't know if you guys will see on the camera. It's a very lighter yellow
Sure.
profile, whatever you want to call it, because per our interview with Jordan, color does not distinct the taste of the beer.
Yes. Yes.
And that is a
correct.
very misleading fact
Mhm.
that a lot of people distinguish beer with, because normally when I talk to like people about beer, they're like, I don't like Guinness, so I don't like dark beers. I'm like, you sound respectfully stupid, because
Guinness was what I started out with, so it's a benchmark.
yeah, but it does not do justice
Yeah.
for stouts, porters, brown ales, whatever you want
Right.
to go, whatever pathway
So
you want to go
this
down.
this doesn't do justice to calling it a standard IPA.
Correct.
Okay.
This is definitely more on the lighter side of the IPAs. It's still hoppy. It still has that great flavor profile to it. Overall, I'll probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10
How many is that on the ball scale?
on the ball scale. Those
1
are
to 5.
1 to 5, 3.5.
3.5 balls.
3.5 nuts. My second beer is a collab with Decibel Metal and Beer Fest. Typically, I'm not...
They're closer to Wash Park, people.
Okay, so Wash Park area. So typically, I'm not like a Kolsch drinker per se, but this one actually was very good. True makes some good beer.
I still haven't been in there, but I hear some crazy shit.
You should go in there sometime, because it is...
An experience.
It's an experience.
I've seen
And
videos.
I've had a couple of my best friends go in there, and they were just, it's like, it's a satanic brewery and this and that, which I truly don't know if they like actually are a satanic brewery, but all of their can art merch and stuff leads to satanic stuff. But this Kolsch was actually really good. It was,
Oh, yeah.
it's, I don't want to keep going to the same like smooth to the touch and this and that. It really took me like 15 minutes to drink this beer. And that was not me like just fiending for a beer. That was me just drinking like, man, this beer is so easy to drink. And this is good.
Go on to your next one.
I almost forgot.
Yeah. Because we'll have something on a new...
Oh,
we're going to have
man.
something brewery on a future episode very soon.
Is this something? But Something Brewery, I just want to plug this. Something Brewery is releasing a Girl Scout cookie and beer pairing. It is happening February 10th and 11th, and then the following weekend after that. So they have 4 beers, 4 Girl Scout cookie inspired beers that are paired with also the Girl Scout cookie that is coming out. We said on the first episode, if you guys haven't tried Something beer yet, like, you truly are missing out. I don't know how else to quantify
No,
that,
I would 100% agree with that.
but their beer is on point.
Yeah.
On point.
It doesn't miss. I haven't had a bad beer from them. All right, and that about wraps it up for Uno Uno.
Closing time.
Turn all of the lights on. Derek, do you want to give us this week's debate question?
Oh. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's debate question and future questions as much as I do, because I actually told Thomas and Haley yesterday, which that means no relevancy here with times,
Recently.
but I told them recently I am going to start keeping a tab of weekly debate questions, and I'm not going to tell Thomas or Haley or anyone else really what this topic will be, because I don't want them to prepare for it. I want them to have true, honest
So from
answers.
here on out, debate questions are blind. We have
They
blind
are
debate
blind.
questions.
I am your gatekeeper. I am your ass man. You have to come through me
Your ass, man.
to get the stamp of approval. This week's debate question is, if you are at a brewery, what is your go-to choice of beer? And also, what is your discovery style of beer? So
Let's start off with Haley.
yeah.
Ooh, what is my go-to? It is no surprise. It's fruit beers. I'm fruity, and I like it. I also like wheat beers, and I'm okay with that. I like Pilsners.
That's...
Oh, you like
Crisp.
Pilsners. Okay.
I like crisp Kolsch's. Those are all go-tos. And then Discovery stouts. This one's a little bit dark. Well, in dark beer in general. This one's a little bit darker than I usually go for, but I'm into it. It tastes like Christmas.
It tastes like Christmas?
A lot of noise going on over there.
Please describe to me how Christmas tastes.
Cloves, cinnamon, Christmas.
Your mother.
It does smell like Christmas.
I personally like IPAs, obviously. IPAs are my go-to. I'm pretty adventurous with stouts. What about yourself?
My favorite sour brand would be American Solera. They do some good sours.
Oh. American Solera.
Oklahoma and Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
They make
continue.
wine now, too.
It got demolished at brunch one day. I took it to brunch and it was
American
gone.
Solera doesn't miss. What about yourself?
I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of on the same train as Tom. I do really love IPAs. IPAs have...
You get the most bang for your buck, man.
You really do get the most bang for your buck. The
just
flavor,
kinda gotta-
the price point, it just...
I used
some
to love
IPAs
IPAs. I'm gonna stick up for myself. I burned myself out on them though.
You kind of gotta like swallow your pride with IPAs.
I like
sometimes they're a
IPAs.
little much, but you're still getting your bang for your
But
buck. and
I
you're like,
overdid
don't like
it
this.
on a particular keg day when I was graduating college.
Particular keg day.
I just took it too far with the IPAs.
Eggs and eggs.
And ever since,
Oh,
it's been
I know what
hard.
you're talking about. We had
All day IPA
we had
Founders.
Founders all day IPA
never
for
forget it.
like a month in a row.
I cannot drink that beer ever
And
again, but
I
it was
d-
good.
Yeah, I can drink that beer.
Do you remember the first IPA you ever had?
It was
I
probably
do.
Marshall's IPA from Tulsa.
Marshall's?
Marshalls are something from in Chicago. Help me.
Three Floyds.
No, the one across the street from my aunt,
Lagunitas.
Lagunitas.
Oh,
yeah.
Lagunitas
Yeah, that
IPA
might have been
is
one of the first because
solid.
I remember taking you to
That is a good
Chicago and I'm
choice.
like, hey,
Yeah.
this is beer.
Lagunitas
like
IPA
it.
is solid. Solid recipe, solid brew, standard like 6.5 something, 6.7.
Yeah. Lagunitas makes good.
They serve it on airplanes now.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be solid.
Yeah. Aside from NBC, their Indian Pale Ale.
Mm-hmm.
My
The
first...
Cardinal?
No, that's just like...
That's their pale.
That's just... Yeah, that's
What's
their
their
pale.
IPA?
It's literally just called their like Indian
Oh,
Pale Ale.
okay.
It's green. It's a green can. It's got an elephant on it.
The NBC pink beer you bring back.
Oh, Shake and Bake?
Shake
Yeah.
is so good.
Shake and Bake is phenomenal, but that's just like one of fucking 20 beers that's incredible. But anyways, the first IPA I ever had was Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA. I can't really drink
It's
them.
always that first alcohol. For me, it was whiskey.
Well, like my first craft beer
That's
that
why I can't drink Malibu.
that I used to drink all the time. My go-to was Blue Moon. Now I can't stand the taste
Well,
of
I mean,
that.
we have a Blue Moon brewery nearby, and like, sure, you can't get the same thing, but like some of the other beers they have on draft, they're.
I'm not saying like Blue
Blue
Moon
Moon
is
is my
trash.
go-to for easy.
I'm just
Easy
saying,
drinking.
just their flagship. Like, yeah, I'll take a
that
Blue Moon with the
standard
orange peel,
4.5
or not orange
Blue
peel, but
Moon.
orange
Concerts,
cut.
so
Like,
refreshing.
it just I can't
I feel you.
I can't do it anymore.
I can taste it now, and I don't enjoy it.
But yeah, my go-to at pretty much any brewery nowadays is still IPA. I don't know. I think it might be because of the winter months,
That
but
could be it.
I've really been enjoying stouts lately.
Same.
Like
They feel
that-
good and warm and
It's
the
stout
fuzzy.
month. It's stout month, man.
It
Enjoy
is.
'em.
It is. And
February.
Yeah, thank you for that,
You're
Haley.
welcome.
Haley let us know it was stout
I
month.
don't know. Usually I'll browse the menu at a brewery and I'll, take my time looking at it. I'll just try to see like what's popping off the page a little bit. A little pop top.
I feel you.
Me go.
So with that, we're going to thank Woods Boss one more time for having us. We're going to thank Jordan Fink, Keith Hicks for being on the podcast.
They have done an incredible job of laying a solid foundation of what they stand behind and have just taken it from, I don't even know how to describe this. 0 to 100? I don't know. But keep your eyes peeled for Woods Boss, their beer in local stores. Either whether that be like King Soopers here in Colorado or your go-to liquor store, and pick out a 6-pack of their beer.
Yeah.
I promise you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. And I just want to thank you all for joining us for this episode of Uno Uno number 2. This is Tom, Derek, and Haley signing off. Join us next week where we'll be speaking with Judd Belstock of Dos Luces Brewing.
Dos Luces.
My favorite.
We hope you enjoy this live performance from Keith Hicks. Here we go.
By the time we got to Woodstock, we were 500,000 strong. Everywhere was a song and a celebration. The dream I saw the bomber, their ships flying shackled in the sky, turning butterflies above our nation. We are stars, we are golden, we are beauty home, carbon. Got to get myself back to the garden.
Try to get as much of the song as you can.
Play y'all original song again. This one's called The Road to California. This one goes out to my buddy Jordan. Shady tree, don't take away my sun. It's cold in here, my bones are chilled, it's cold. After kids dead and gone, I'm empty all alone. Rambling, vagabond, I'm running from last trial. Yeah, I'm running from last trials. Got to keep on moving. Reapers running on my bed. If I don't find my way home soon, see you on the other side. Cold man, don't make me climb so high. This world was running on